Welcome into the Cactus Golf Podcast. A little extra W there. You like that? I got you with that one, didn't I?
That was good.
Welcome into the Cactus Golf Podcast. This is Blair with my co-host Matt Erickson. How we doing today?
I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah?
Feeling good. How are you?
Yeah, feeling good. You should be feeling good after your good weekend, huh?
I had a good weekend. Kind of a good weekend. What do you mean?
Betting corner.
I mean, technically, but not really.
In the W column, you did better than the...
In the W column, yes.
In the financial department. Right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah, the financial department's still hurting.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, we got a good episode here today. We got a few topics here, a couple micro topics before we get into the tournaments, the recap, and then this week's tournament. So we got a little kind of hypothetical here with the PGA event, how we think we would do, with a certain setup there, and also we have the preview kind of, and also our takes on this this edition of the match coming here in a few weeks, December 10th. That it was announced recently. Obviously, got the recap of Mayakoba Classic, and then also this weekend's Houston Open. But let's go ahead and get it started here with something I saw on Twitter. I sent you a few days ago. So it was a hypothetical of a PGA event where you play with 10 holes on each green.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
10 holes on each green, and you can make any of them. That's like your hole. It's usually supposed to make it easier, obviously.
Like whoever I'm playing against, the Tour pros, they get one hole.
They still have the one hole.
All right.
And you're playing a PGA event, PGA course, PGA setup. You got the gallery and everything.
Yep.
How do you think you would do?
I would still say no chance. No chance.
Last place finisher.
100%. I would make the cut. I hope there's no cut, so I at least play the whole weekend. I would literally not do well at all. They would actually probably have to pass out. People would have to probably sign vouchers, because I probably would hit them, so they might have like some legal obligations, so they don't have to like get sued or whatever. I mean, I would be taking off heads, man.
You think that's already a thing?
For what?
If like a pedestrian, or not a pedestrian, but a
spectator. I wonder if it's like in like the agreement when the tickets that you buy.
I wonder if that's a thing.
I would
think so. I would think it would be.
I mean, I'm telling you what, though, like I would
like a liability form.
Yeah, I would not do well. Like, my problem is not when I'm on the green. Right, my problem is getting to the green.
Yeah.
Right, so like if they I think I would have a better chance. Actually, you know what? I think I would have a better chance if there wasn't 10 different holes. If there was just like one big hole.
Yeah.
I probably would have a better chance.
Definitely, yeah.
Like probably like a 2 or 3 foot wide hole.
Oh, yeah.
Because then I'm like I know by my putting, like I'd probably one putt every single time, because I can just beam it in there as hard as I possibly want, and it's still gonna fall in. Like there's no way. No,
I think I would definitely finish last.
100%, yeah.
100%. I would still 2-putt most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I would definitely still 2-putt.
Absolutely.
Distance. The distance is going to be a huge problem. The carries you're going to have to hit.
Oh, yeah. Hitting from the tips.
Yeah, from the tips. I mean, the carries, they make like some pretty tough carries. Not for them, obviously.
Yeah.
For
and then just like, the pressure of people watching you, too.
Yeah.
Like, I would almost like try and make it entertaining at that point. Because, like, there's no way I'm playing for actual any seriousness if that's that level. Not at least right now while I'm playing.
Yeah, and then like we play at this, local course here, not far from our apartment. That's got, it's just a quick little. We play 9 usually, and there's like no sand hardly.
Yeah,
and
except the last or second to last hole, and I found it.
Yeah,
like the only
there's
trap there is.
Very minimal water. There's just like some OB with like houses, around
the driving range.
Yeah, so that's really it. The difficulty of these courses is astronomically more than we play.
And then just like to think about like playing the slope of the greens and everything too, and how fast the putts are gonna roll. Like, I think I'd be generous to say I would 2-putt. Like I probably would still. It would probably be worse. Like I'd probably be like, I'm gonna aim in this vicinity, and just whatever hole it gets nearby, that's the hole I'm gonna go for. There's no chance.
Yeah, definitely still getting last. But I saw that on Twitter, thought that was interesting, and I think everyone else kind of agreed.
Yeah, no.
Unless you're like approaching scratch golf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But so again, like we mentioned, the match got announced. Another edition of that. It's been several editions now. I haven't kept track of how many they've done. They've done several with just.
Well, they started during COVID, right?
Yeah, that was the first, I believe, edition of it. I think they had like a series back in like the 80s or something that was similar to this. I read, but I don't know who played in it and whatnot.
Alive,
but I wasn't not either. But yeah, so it's gonna be Tiger and Rory versus JT and Jordan Spieth, December 10th, like I mentioned. I thought it was. Obviously it's interesting. I like it. I think the last edition was all quarterbacks. So it was all like NFL quarterbacks. It was Brady, Rodgers, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Was it Mahomes?
I think it was Mahomes.
Was it Mahomes? Okay, I can't remember. I
I
know
can
it was
look
Josh
it up,
Allen. I
but
can't
I'm
remember
pretty
if
sure
it
it
was.
was.
I think it was. Was it Mahomes? I can't remember. I don't know why I can't remember that.
I don't know. Keep talking. I'll look it up.
But yeah, it was. That was the last one. I think my take is like I think it's good to see it. I think it's gonna be interesting. My one worry is that the format's getting a little old. I do think it gets less. It would be less. Let's see. I think people would get less tired of watching it if they mixed professional golfers with the other athletes that do golf.
Yeah.
You know, they did one with Phil and Bryson, and it was Aaron Rodgers, I think,
and Brady.
Was it Brady? Yeah, Brady.
Yeah.
They did that one. They did it on a cool course. They had a cool format too, where it was like, man, there was one hole I remember. I think it was in Colorado, and it was like a par 5, I think, but it was like straight downhill.
Mm-hmm.
So Bryson, they had like the whole charity thing. If you drive it however far, whatever, you get like extra money towards charity. So Bryson obviously went crazy for it. And that was entertaining. And I think it was alternating, like there were certain holes, or was it all the hole? No, it was certain holes where like they would draw out of a hat which club you pick and whatnot. So I think that's more interesting when they mix up PGA Tour pros with like other athletes rather than like this one's just going to be all PGA Tour pros. But
and only 12 holes too.
Yeah,
right?
only 12. I mean, that's fine. Whatever. I'm not super worried about that. I mean, 18 holes of that's would get old anyway.
Yeah, I know, but like, I feel like if we're seeing I think 12 holes is a good format for mixing in like quarterbacks and whatnot if they're having a fun time with it. These are PGA Tour players. I want to see I'm curious who would actually win. I'm actually really curious. Who do you think would win?
Well, I don't know the exact format. I don't know if it's going to be like a match play or if I assume they're going to do some kind of, like I mentioned in the last one where they did, not the last one, but one of them where they, picked a club, you had to play that club the whole time. Yeah. I assume they're going to mix some of that in. I didn't see the exact format of it, but I'm not super worried about who's winning. I just want to see interesting stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because we see them play all the time, so it's not that big of a deal for me to see who wins.
Yeah, it was cool because wasn't there back in a few years ago, wasn't the one was Tiger versus Phil?
Well, it was like Tiger and Phil, and Brady was in one. I remember.
But there was one, I think it was just like them two playing each other.
I think there was.
Yeah, but real quick, I looked up your answer. It was Mahomes.
Was it Mahomes? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't remember him on that one, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think there was 1v1. Yeah.
It was. There was a 1v1 in 2018.
Okay.
It was at Shadow Creek. It was Tiger versus Phil. And didn't Phil win?
I don't remember.
Man, we need to do our homework a little better. Mickelson. Oh, they were tied after regulation play. They went to extra holes and Phil won.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was kind of in Tiger's prime, kind of re-prime.
That was the year
year
before
he won the Masters.
Yeah.
So right when he was kind of getting in the swing of it, but
yeah. But I think one of the wasn't it a tweet that we were looking at that was talking about this and how they kind of wish that they brought in like LPGA players into the next and
like kind of like an undercard thing with like fighting. They have like
they have undercard match or whatever card matches, whatever. I don't watch boxing or UFC, but I think it would be kind of cool. You obviously for something like that, if you're bringing those people in, you can't have them play another 12 holes as well. I think it would be like 1 hole or 2 hole specials where like you bring out like random people and you surprise them. Like you bring out Tom Kim.
I think it would need to be more than a couple holes, just because I think it would be worth the time. I feel like for them.
But then I feel like that's gonna be like that's a lot of viewing time then.
I mean, Tom Kim already gets enough. I think it would need to be like college golfers. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I feel like the most
like college Corn Ferry people. That'd be more interesting. LPGA, that's fine.
Yeah, I feel like what's gonna sell eyeballs is you gotta find like celebrities.
Right, that's why I wanted to mix in more athletes. That's why I think if it's just the tour pros like it is this time, I think it would get kind of old. They need to. I mean, this is like the first time they've done it since I think the 1v1 that you mentioned in 2018. That there wasn't an athlete a part of it, at least that I can remember. Mm-hmm. But I think that would go a long way in just keeping it more interesting doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the undercard definitely I think would be interesting. I mean, there's plenty of professional athletes that play. Like Steph Curry's really good. Mm-hmm. Tony Romo's really good. And so he's actually competed on some tournaments, not like official tournaments, but like to qualify and whatnot. I think qualifier tournaments.
He played in the Pro-Am. I think it was because I see it every single year. the PGA Instagram account. Shout out to them for being consistent, because every single year, I think it's the AT&T Classic. I don't remember, but it's in Texas, and he played it, and he had one shot where he hit it. Either he hit it into the grandstands, and then he played his shot from the grandstands as like a joke, or he hit his shot over the grandstands.
I think
he had like some like crazy up and down from there. Well, that video was from like years ago, and they play it back every.
They do that with one of the things on Waste Management, like where the robot. Is that
yes,
the robot hitting the par 3 or whatever.
He had a hole one too, actually. Yeah. Yes,
they play that one.
Shout out to that, honestly, though, because they are extremely consistent. They probably like schedule it like to post in advance, and like whenever all the Waste Management.
They've already got it scheduled out the next 10 years.
100%. I'm telling you, because it's the same thing that they post all the time, but it's entertaining.
I guess. I mean, whatever.
But like if you follow it a lot, you know it's the same post. So then it's like, okay, you're kind of lacking a little creativity here. Get something else in the mix. I don't know.
Get a new robot to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Change the color of the thing. Jesus.
But so that's what we had there for the couple little micro segments. We usually do one long one. We had a couple small ones there. This past weekend we had the Mayakoba Classic in Mexico. Mexico. You got any takeaways from that? Any notes? Anything you saw there?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously Russell Henley ends his drought for his fourth PGA Tour win. His last win was in April of 2017. My biggest takeaway, and you'll hear a little bit about later, I was just really excited to see Scottie Scheffler in that last round on Sunday. He shot 9 under on Sunday to secure T3. So.
I think that was the lowest round of the tournament.
I'm pretty sure it was.
There was a few 63s, yeah. Henley he started this weekend with 2 63s. He ran away with it early. He was
incredibly fast.
He really separated himself, the first 2 days. And then the third day, he had, I think, a 4 or 5 stroke lead going into Sunday.
No, it was good. I thought, I watched a little bit here and there. I worked over the weekend, so I couldn't, sit down and watch a lot of it. But it was exciting to see someone that hasn't won in a while come back and win. It's nice to see that. I think they were saying too that this was his first win as a father. He had 2 kids since 2017. Fun fact of the day. That's not on the 2 truths and a lie though. I do have those ready for you whenever you're ready, man. I'm always coming with those.
Well, so I'll go ahead and recap a little quick here. Yeah, Russell Henley won. So round out the top 5 here. We had Russell Henley, number 1. Brian Harman, 2. He's like low-key, like always, I feel like, around. He's just always hanging around, I feel like. When I just check the leaderboards out, he's just always there. He's not in the betting corner this week, but he's probably going to get in there at some point. And he's a little lefty, little cheeky lefty. Like he's short. He's short, too. He's probably shorter than me. Probably as short as you.
As short as me. Like I'm like a dwarf. What the heck, man?
So he's always hanging around, though. But so, yeah, rounding out the top 5, he was solo second. Then you mentioned Scottie Scheffler at T3. We had 5 people tied at T3. Joel Dahman, Troy Merritt, Seamus Power. Seamus. That was
cool to see him.
And Will Gordon. Yeah, Seamus, he's balling out.
2 weeks.
He's number 1 on FedEx right now. I mean, still early again, like we said, but number 1 on FedEx Cup. Will Gordon rounding out the top 5. Dude was ranked outside top 200 in the world golf rankings, and kind of just out of nowhere.
Is that where you put? That was our? Your most impressed.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
And your depressed was Tony.
Yeah, he was ranked 14th, miscut, whatever.
Yeah, Tony.
It'll happen.
And Billy Horschel missed the cut too.
No, he didn't. He made the cut.
Did he?
Yeah, he was very bottom. He was very bottom of that.
I thought he missed.
People made the cut. Yeah. But Will Gordon, I go to the official World Golf Rankings website every time I make that every Sunday, and they only go to the top 200. And so I'm like, where the hell is this guy at? Mm-hmm. And so I had to actually Google it. Okay, where is he? And it was like 210. So you weren't even on their website as far as, you can like search individually on the website, but they're listing, it starts at 100, and then you can filter 150, 200, do all, but it takes forever to load the all, of course. So I was like, man, where's this guy at? So shout out Will Gordon.
I was also, I'm looking at the leaderboard right now too. Another name that I was excited to see, and you'll hear this name a little bit later today. Taylor Montgomery, man.
He's still balling out.
He's
He's in the pairing this weekend with Burns and Scheffler to start on Thursday.
That's a good pairing.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned that. I mean, I don't think they choose the pairings on notoriety and things like that. But he's definitely earned his keep on tour already.
I think so. I mean, he shot 65, 70, 67, 66. He secured himself a nice $190,000 paycheck.
I think he's got 2 or 3 top 10s already.
Does
he have an outright? Does he have an outright already?
No,
I don't think he has an outright yet.
No. He's got where am I at here? My notes on him. He's got 3rd, T9, T15, T13, T10.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man.
I mean, yeah, him. And like we mentioned, Detry last week, he's been balling out too. He tied 2nd last week. He's had a few top 10s already. Another rookie, so got some good crop of young talent coming on the tour. We highlighted Tom Kim a few episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Some young talent coming up. It's gonna be exciting.
It is. All right, you ready for it? It's coming.
Let's do it.
Not. 2 truths and a lie. Here
so I got it last time. I get it the last 2 times.
I don't remember. We should have a running leaderboard of this. I'll have to listen back to the episodes. You ready though? First one is Russell Henley is an avid guitar player. Second one, played golf at the University of Florida. Third one, has won over $20 million throughout his career.
Where's the lie? Is the last one?
I think the lie is $20 million.
Yeah.
That's your final answer?
Yeah.
You're going to secure it?
Yeah.
Well, you were wrong, my friend. He has won $22 million.
Dang.
Yep. I was kind of surprised to see that. I mean, 4 wins, but I was kind of surprised. Like, it's a pretty good page. His whole
That's not bad.
tour. It's pretty nice. $20 million. It's pretty good. The lie was that he played golf at the University of Florida. Actually, University of Georgia. So
I was thinking guitar Henley sounds like a guitar player.
It is, I think, isn't that a guitar?
Russell Henley.
But isn't that a guitar
I don't think
brand?
it's a brand, but it just sounds like it, right? It's Russell Henley. It sounds like a guitar player.
He actually played on stage with Darius Rucker at a PGA concert they had during one of the, I don't know what tournament it was.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool, man. Like, so that was true, and he's won $22 million, but play for the Bulldogs.
So actually, I have interesting. Now that you mentioned that, I had an interesting thing I saw. I didn't put it in the notes here, but I'm gonna pull it up here real fast. As far as career winnings, I saw. So this is about Bernhard Longer.
Mm-hmm.
Bernhard, whatever. Before he turned 50, on the DP World Tour, he had 42 wins, 2 majors, and he earned $11 million before turning 50.
Oh, I did.
After 50.
Yeah.
He's had 44 wins on the PGA Tour Champions Tour. 44 wins, 11 majors, 34 million earned since he turned 50. That's just goes to show how much more money there is nowadays versus back then.
For sure. No,
it's
for
crazy.
Sure. I'll have to dig up one of the other posts too that talked about just the time that people played, been a professional golfer. Some of Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, their winnings were compared to now.
Yeah, it's if you go to the money list on PGA Tour, it's really skewed. Obviously,
it really is. I understand it. Like I said, Russell Henley back in the day probably wouldn't have made maybe.
They need to have a PGA Tour inflation kind of calculator,
to kind of tell you how much it would be,
that'd be
actually
interesting.
in today's dollar. Especially this past year, I'm sure their money would be rocketing because of this damn inflation.
Yeah, so they need to do something like that. It'd be interesting to do. Just to have that little sidebar, inflation adjusted earnings.
Just to kind of give you an idea of what it means. They do that for some things. I forget, they do that with they talk about kings back in the day that ruled countries, how much money they had,
or the people
to
in the Vanderbilts back in the day, however much they had.
What's your favorite movie you always watch? The
History Channel thing.
Yes.
I've watched that twice now. It's so interesting.
I'm telling you, man. I remember you always talk about that.
The Men Who Made America, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's always interesting. I've watched it a couple times.
All right, Houston Open this weekend.
Cadence Bank Houston Open.
Tell us about the course. You have any idea? You looking at it up?
I have it. Memorial Park Golf Course. It's moved around recently. This tournament. Last year's winner was Jason Kokrak. I don't have
what a last name.
Kokrak. Par 70, 5 par 3s. Sorry, 5 par 3s. That's weird because I was thinking 5 par 3, par 5. Kind of dyslexic maybe a little bit. 5 par 3s, Let's see. So yeah, I saw the person I was usually kind of get some action on for my betting corners mentioned that you don't really want to go into the par 3 data just because, again, we talked about this last week, I think it was. There's so much data to parse through.
I think it was like 2 weeks ago we talked about this, yeah.
2 weeks ago with like the weather and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's so much data to parse through, but he's saying, it's the par 3s, 5 par 3s, it's going to be important, how you score on par 3s. But the range from like top the best performer on par 3s to the lowest performer is such a small delta that it's kind of negligent. So, but 7,400 yards on the scorecard, par 70. So longer, but
longer. I was gonna say, 7,400 yards.
So
is decent size.
Yeah, so 7,400 yards, definitely longer than the last two courses we saw, like at 6,800 and 7,000. So, but it's moved around recently. It wasn't at this course a few years ago, but it's been there the last couple of years. But yeah, so Jason Kokrak won it last year. Interesting is the last couple tournaments of this Houston Open, a lot of people at the top of the leaderboard are gone to live. So 2 years ago, Carlos Ortiz won live, joined by Dustin Johnson, Taylor Gooch, Brooks, all in the top 5. So all those guys are gone to live.
Yeah.
Last year, Jason Kokrak, I believe he is in live now, with Cameron Tringale, live, Cameron Smith, live, Matthew Wolff, live, Mark Leishman, live.
Oh my God!
So it's crazy. That's really bizarre. But yeah, so it's going to be a lot of vastly different leaderboard.
Yeah.
Top 10 this year.
It is. You want my pick? Get ready for it. Taylor Montgomery.
Okay.
That's my second time I picked him. I picked him, I think, for the Sanderson Farms. I had him picked because that was located in Nevada. We're back in the States. I just, like I said, we talked to this earlier. Third, T9, T15, T13, T10. I think he's due. He's due. He's hot. He's got a good pairing. I think he's gonna pull it off this week. That's my prediction.
I got Scotty. He's the betting favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think
he's
playing well.
Coming off that last round.
Coming off the last round, he's playing well. Again, he's still gunning for that number one overall spot.
I was gonna say, will he earn it still if he wins?
I didn't see. He didn't obviously overtake it because he had to win.
Yeah.
I can pull up how close he is now, but I mean, if he won again, he would definitely overtake.
Yeah, for sure. Because he earned points from last week and Rory didn't play.
He got. Let's see. So he is only 40 points behind. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking wrong.
Math, I know.
Total point. Okay, so it said points lost section, and there's a total point section. So he is 35 points behind Rory right now.
Okay.
And so I haven't pulled up how much you can win.
It changes,
Depends on how strong the field is, whatnot, blah, blah, blah.
It's a decent field this week.
Good field. Yeah, you got Burns. Finau is playing as well. Montgomery's back up there.
Jason Day's playing.
Day, sure.
Hideki Matsuyama's playing.
So yeah, I got Scotty, but I wanted. So we mentioned that a lot of the tournaments aren't fully televised, and it's kind of annoying. I've seen a lot of people, like a lot of the foreplay people talking about it, how it's not fully televised. All 4 rounds will be on Golf Channel this week.
Really?
Per PGA Tour, which seems like a good source for that. But
that seems like it's pretty credible. Was it like PGA.tour or something like that? Was it the social media account?
It was their website, so no. There is a parody PGA Tour where it's like UOR instead of OUR, and it kind of gets me sometimes.
It is because it looks just like it, and then you see like some crazy like outlandish tweet, and you're like, "Oh my god, they said that!" And you're like, "Oh wait, no, they didn't say that." But no, it'll be good. I'm excited for this week.
It should be a good one. Scotty from Texas, I believe. I think several of the players are from Texas.
Did he golf at the University of Texas?
That sounds right.
I'm
pretty
sure
sure
wearing the orange.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I'll look it up.
But yeah, I did see a few golfers also played, their. Oh, I had it up here, but yeah, a lot of the
University of Texas at all.
So a lot of the players in the field played at the University of Texas or in surrounding. I think it was maybe Texas Tech, I believe. So they might have been familiar with the course. I had notes on it, but it went away somewhere. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's the Houston Open. Scotty Scheffler, that's my pick. You'll see him coming up here in just a second. Let's get to betting corner. Go ahead and give me what you got. Or do you want to recap what you did last week?
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. I lost 3 units last week. So I had 5 bets, 3 of them hit. I had Taylor Montgomery hit. I had him top 20. He finished T10. I had Scotty Scheffler top 10. He finished T3. And then Victor Hovland, I said top 10. He finished T10, which we talked about this. I think it's ridiculous.
It's not.
It is. They need, it's not ridiculous how it comes out, but I feel like they need to figure something out because
they did. That's what they do.
Well, I know. I don't like how they do, so I want them to change it. So, just because he was T10, the payout was essentially I lost money on it, essentially. Because what I put in, I got paid out less. So, I lost money on a bet even though I won it. That's kind of crazy to me. That's my personal opinion. So they need to figure it out. Whether that's, how do you settle a tie? Is it the lowest round that Sunday? I don't know, whatever it is. I want my damn money, though. I can tell you that much.
I mean, it seems reasonable to me. I don't know.
It's reasonable when you're not the one that loses.
Well, I mean,
we'll circle back around whenever you have
It has the disclaimer there. You know, what it is.
Do you read the Apple's term of agreements every time it pops up on your phone?
Well,
screen?
It's not 20 pages long. It's right in front of your face here.
Well, so is the term of agreements if you want to read.
It's one line I have to read, not a book.
I'm just letting you know. I think it's crap. I think they need to fix it.
Well, if you have 10 people tied 10th, he didn't actually finish 10th.
Well, no, of course not. But he finished T10.
If you go into you still might not win if you go down to the tiebreakers like you mentioned.
Which is fine. I swear to God.
You can finish 20th if you go down to the tiebreakers.
That's fine. I would rather lose than have a tie.
But you didn't.
Perfectly fine with that. I did because I lost money. I didn't lose.
So do you want the PGA Tour to not have ties at all?
Yes.
Or do you want DraftKings to only not pay out ties?
Both, however. Both probably, honnly.
You want the PGA Tour to change their entire scope of what they do?
I don't see anything wrong about it. It wasn't annoying to me, changing sports. NFL, when you have a tie in the NFL, that is literally just...
Well, that's different.
But it's the same thing.
How?
Whether you have someone win or lose.
Yeah, but there's already a winner. It's just for 10th. Or 5th or whatever.
Well, it doesn't matter. I want to know.
It does matter.
It matters my payout.
Nobody cares.
Well, I fucking care. That's what cares. And like I said, we'll circle back around when you have a tie, and we'll go ahead and readjust this conversation.
Fine. It's dependent on me hitting my bets, though, so we'll get to that.
Let's talk about your week last week.
I went over 4. Oh my gosh! So I told you as soon as it happened, Lee Hodges was set to cash. I was going to make money on my one bet. That's all I needed was one bet to cash because that's how I strategized my bets.
Yes.
He was inside. I think the top 20 I had him as. Top 10 or top 20. He was set to cash it. 3 holes left. He played the last 3 holes in 4 over. A double bogey, bogey. In the last 3 holes for me not to cash. Hodges, what are you doing, man? And I've used him. That sounds bad. I've picked him a couple times in betting corner, I believe. And it is what it is. It doesn't matter if it was those holes or the first 3 holes. I guess of the tournament, whatever. It's just annoying.
It is.
But
we have a change in the leaderboard now.
Yeah, you're winning by
I'm winning, so I'm thinking I was telling you. I think we need to up this ante now. I think it needs to be a trip to Vegas. Some tickets to go play golf somewhere.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my first bet is going to be my first bet. I'm going back. I'm gonna keep going back to this the parlay well. Sahith Theegala, top 20. Theegala, top 20. I don't think he did very well last week.
No, week before. I don't know if did he play last week? I think it was the week before. He had one. I think he finished almost dead last. He missed a cut for sure.
But he's still a quality golfer. I like him. Top 20.
He's still a great golfer.
Still pretty good. He's better than I am. So
yeah,
say what you want.
Yeah.
Sam Burns, top 10. That's gonna be plus 550. 21 units on that one.
Nice. I am joining the cheeky movement.
Oh yeah, parlay action.
But I'm up in the ante.
Okay.
I'm going straight parlays this week.
Good luck with that.
I'm going straight parlays this week. All right. I'm going wild here. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling hot. I had back-to-back weeks where I had at least 2 winners. I'm feeling hot. I've got.
Who would want to continue that, right?
Yeah, sure, right? Yeah. So I've got.
You're sure. No, before you get to that, it's funny because you're like, I'm going to change my strategy. It's not working. I got to change my strategy. Oh, it's working. I'm going to change it again.
Well, if it's not working perfect, keep fixing it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm just kidding. I was thinking about it. I did the first parlay, and I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of funny if you just did all parlays this week. And I was like, because if I liked your idea of like having, if one of them hits, at least you win. Like you're a positive for the week, right? Versus placing 5 different bets last week. Like I said, I had 3.
You need 2 to go net positive.
Yeah. I hit technically 3, and I lost 3 units. So I mean, I'm almost flat. My first one, anyways, and I'm going 25 units each, 4 bets. Okay. Taylor Montgomery, top 20. Sam Burns, top 10. You just said. I'm going 25 units. Odds are plus 400. That's my first one.
All right. I'm going, my next one, Sepp Straka, top 20. That'll be plus 280, 30 units on that one. I had some notes on him.
He's been playing okay. I remember seeing him.
You picked him really early. I think it was the first betting corner you picked him.
No, that was it? It might have been.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
I think he kind of just...
It was. I remember this.
Did not do
I thought it was
well,
Taylor Montgomery, but I had picked him for the outright winner.
But yeah, so in the past 8 months, Straka, he's got a win, 2 runner-ups, both of those second place each coming in the last 7 starts. So he's been pretty good form. I think he's going to get through. Had good odds on that bet there. Like I said, it was plus 280. I like it.
Nice. All right. I got another parlay, like I said. 25 units. Hideki Matsuyama, top 20. Aaron Wise, I believe. Wise, yeah. Top 10. Odds total for the parlay, plus 505.
25 units.
25 units.
All right. So he burned me. I'm going back to the well. Lee Hodges. I think I had him top 20 last week. I'm going top 10. He burned me. He played good golf throughout the weekend, just those last freaking 3 holes.
Yeah.
Top 10 plus 650, 20 units. Hodges, man. You burned me again. I might just I'm gonna keep track of like people I'm not gonna bet. I'm like, if you burn me too much, you're going on the do not bet corner here.
I like that.
So if he burns me again,
he's off.
He's probably it depends on how it happens, the context of it, but he's those last 3 holes really left a sour taste in my mouth. So
fair enough.
Hodges, let's go.
I like it. It's third parlay. Jason Day, top 20. Hideki Matsuyama, back to hear him again, top 10. Odds plus 670.
So I referenced my burn corner. I'm already putting Jason Day on the burn corner. I'm not betting him. He's awful.
Why is he awful?
He isn't making contention forever.
He had.
I think in Zozo he did okay.
He had the one where he hit. I pulled it up on one of my other conversations. He hit like, I forgot what his back 9 was, like some crazy level. Here it is. Jason Day found 12 holes. This was from
Shriners. Yeah, you did call that out in Shriners. Yeah, that's right.
Birdie par, birdie par, birdie par, birdie.
Well, you know what? He should have saved him because that's going to be the best 12 holes he has all year.
Up until this week.
He's okay. So good luck with that. He's in.
Did you even pick him?
No.
Why do you even
That's
put him
what
in
I
the
said.
corner?
Because in the last like 5 years, he hasn't contended. He won a PGA like 6-7 years ago. Hasn't done anything since then.
That's okay.
He's out of here.
We just talked about how
I'm more likely to bet.
Russell Henley hasn't won in 4 years, actually 5 years, and he won this week.
Well,
don't say it ain't so until it's over.
How the turntables?
The turntables have turned.
All right, my next bet, Tony Finau, outright. I'm gonna get one at some point. Plus 175, only 9 units.
I saw a lot of like when I started doing research for the podcast.
175. I must have taken that down wrong.
Oh yeah, it's probably 1750 maybe. Probably out of 0.
Yeah, I must have done something wrong. That's definitely not right. But go ahead.
I remember seeing last week. I look at like different projections for the week and like different golf articles that talk about betting. And last week a bunch of people had Tony Finau, so it was kind of funny to see them be all wrong. But
1600. Okay.
So
I'm not sure where I said it. I must have. I don't know.
Maybe
like I said, I'm dyslexic, so.
All right, my last parlay. You doing 4 picks?
5.
5. My last parlay, like I said, of course, 25 units. Andrew Putnam, top 20. Tony Finau, top 10. Odds plus 615. Excited for this week. It's gonna.
Putnam did well in Zozo, I believe.
Yeah,
he was up there.
He's been hanging around. So, I think looking back on it, I wish I wouldn't have done Hideki Matsuyama twice.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, if he plays really bad, I just lost 2 of them. So I really should have changed that one. Or it will work really, really well for me.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I did that a couple times where I did part of a parlay or a separate bet with outright winner. Mm-hmm. I almost did that with Sam Burns here, as I almost did him in the parlay and almost picked him outright. But I'm like, I'm going to diversify my portfolio a little more. And so I went Finau instead outright. So I think Finau still got a good shot at it. My final bet, like I mentioned, Scotty Scheffler outright winner. We're going to get an
outright winners.
I've been doing that, man. That we're sticking with it. Plus 550, 20 units.
You know the definition of insanity, right? Keep doing the same over.
Like, to be extremely successful, though, you got to be a little insane.
Of course.
So that's just kind of the path we're going down.
That's why I went all parlays this week.
So
I'm either going to be really successful or really insane. One of the two.
So
I feel
like
good,
my bets.
This would be a good week again.
I had Morikawa's outright last week. He started off sluggish. I think he was even the first round. Mm-hmm. He was 8 under, I think, on Sunday. So he made a big push the last couple days. We've been flirting with some hits. Like I said, Hodges was really close. Morikawa was top 10 or 15, I believe, last week.
T15.
T15, yeah. So he was flirting there a little bit, playing some good golf at the end of the round there, or the end of the weekend there. So we're flirting.
Jason Day was T21 last week too. He was up there. He was hanging.
If you would have bet top 20, he wouldn't have hit.
He's in my. I wouldn't have. If he was in my screenshot, he was not people down. I could see him still. So
congratulations. You still won some money. Good for you, bud.
Yeah. How much do you think he won last week for
T21? T21. I'm gonna say $80K.
82,000.
Hey,
actually 83 if you round it. Yeah. That's kind of wild. But
the thing is, it's not as much money as you think, because, like, again, they have to pay their caddies, they have to do travel. It's really,
food, all that good stuff.
Food, sure.
They get probably. I wonder, like.
He's not hurting. He's doing pretty well. But it's like the fringe players that make $80K is like really not going very far for them. But hey, they're not. I'm sure they're not complaining too much.
Yeah, I like a nice $80K check too. I'll even have to pay it out to other people, but that's okay.
I wonder how that works tax wise. This isn't a tax podcast, but you made it.
It's not financial.
You made it in Mexico, so I assume that goes. How does that tax work?
But
is it paid out by PGA? So it's like American earnings.
Correct. That's what I would assume, is that even though your work was done
in Mexico,
your paycheck came from the company that was located within the United States.
I guess that would make sense.
But isn't the Yeah, I don't know, man.
It's international, so
aren't they independent contractors too?
Who knows? Ask Greg Norman.
Yeah. I have no idea.
That'll do it. When we get into tax, it's time to cut off the podcast. Time we got the interview coming here in just a minute. Stick around for that. Stick around for next week. Appreciate you all.
Thank you guys for continuing to listen to the Cactus Golf Podcast. For our last segment, I get to interview again. I'm incredibly honored to interview all these amazing people every single week. And this week, we're bringing on someone extra special. So next week, we're bringing on Nick Steiner, the founder of Back to Basics. This is one of the first brands that we reached out to early on, about a year ago. We were just talking off camera when we started Cactus Golf Club. And I'm extremely grateful that relationship has continued, and glad to have you on the show and to pick your brain a little bit and learn a little bit more about Back to Basics.
Yeah, excited to be here. Like I said, it's been about a year ago since you guys kind of started this thing, kicked off. Had some good conversations with Blair, and anyone out there that's looking to start their own business or get into golf or do those sort of things, I'm more than happy to help out and contribute. So it's exciting for me to be here and see that you guys are still going.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Well, let's dive right on in. And first question I have for you is, what got you interested in starting Back to Basics? What was that light bulb moment that made you think, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is the brand I want to go with. What was that starting moment look like for you?
Yeah, that initial moment for me looked like, probably a lot of people out there of, I wish I could get in golf. I wish I could do something in the golf industry. Being someone that is, a mid-level handicapper over, most of my life, it
Yeah.
was just something that I was like, hey, I'd love to get into this. I'm not a PGA professional. I will never be a tour player, but what can I do to leave my mark or to contribute and be a part of this industry? So fortunate enough to have Richard Woodhouse as my golf coach at the time when that happened. Grant Field is his best mate. I was also introduced to, and Grant is Cameron Smith's golf coach. So seeing that correlation of these guys working together and then wanting to start my own brand was where the journey initially really started.
That's awesome. I mean, it's amazing you have those connections like that, and how things people know everyone, and be able to kick something off like that. I know you guys are the official partner with Cameron Smith, correct?
That is correct. So Cam's been using the ProPath putting mirror for a few years now, and we're happy to have him attest to something that's helped his game, as well as other pros and LPGA and PGA players around the globe that are actually using the product now.
That is awesome. That is amazing. So let's talk a little bit about products that you guys offer. So you guys offer different training aids, from you said putting mirrors to mats to putting gates, quite a wide variety of things. But there's a lot of my question for you is a lot of different training aids. Your little selling speed. What makes you, because you guys are the best?
Yeah, probably the big thing that really separated us apart was where I initially started that conversation is I'm someone who is an everyday golfer that's trying to improve their game, that gets frustrated with three putts.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of people that are probably listening to this right now of, hey, you know what? I love golf. I'm okay, but what can I do to get a little bit better? And I think that's something that we've tried to resonate with our products is, hey, this is something that anyone can use, whether you're just getting into golf, you're a professional, or you're someone that's just practicing to improve your game. And I think that practicing word for a lot of people tends to get a little bit heavy. I don't want to practice, it's the more of the daunting side. So what can we do to make it more fun? What could we do to make it more enjoyable? And that's what we were able to do with the ProPath putting mirror, which is our flagship product. You're able to get that instant feedback. You're able to see a lot of people that have used it, improvement that very day. But when you pair it with our putting mat, there's a bit of gamification. You can have some fun with your family or friends around it. And those are just the sort of things of, all right, I need to practice. I want to improve. What can I do to make it as fun and just not as, as daunting as like I said before about when it comes time to putting in that sort of work and improving your game. So that's what I believe has really separated us apart was anyone can use it. It's enjoyable to see that improvement in your game as well too.
Absolutely, and that's one thing I can contest to the same thing. We were grateful for you to send the putting mat over to us, and I actually took it on vacation. My family goes to Myrtle Beach every year, and so we get a big old house, and all of us, and a lot of us are golfers. So I actually brought it on vacation, and we were playing games at night. We actually put money down on some of them just because we got really competitive. It's a fun time. It really is it's a fun way to practice, because a lot of practice can be seen as mundane and repetitive and the same things over and over. But to have a product like you guys offer, it makes it more fun. So it makes practicing in a sense enjoyable. It really does. So I agree to that 100%.
Yeah.
My next question I have for you is, from the start till now, what has been your best memory with starting back to basics?
Probably the best memory, and I mean that first sale, right? That's always the big one is putting in the work and then and seeing that come. It was my mom. That's always funny. I think that happens with a lot of people. As a family or friend, is that person to make that first purchase. But outside of that, just be seeing the products in Golf Digest. I mean, that was a real big moment for me. Of like I said, it's someone who wouldn't be on tour or wouldn't have that sort of thing, but having my product being used by those that are on those sort of things and getting recommended by some of the top publications globally was very, very humbling and made a lot of the hard work definitely worth it once we were able to see that testament.
Absolutely. I can imagine just seeing something like that pop up at such a well-respected golf publication, to see your product on there. That's got to be one of the most rewarding experiences. I laugh at the whole, you said earlier about, family buying products first. Some of the first people that joined were our friends and family. Like, don't get me wrong, like, we're extremely grateful for anyone that supports us, but it makes you laugh because you're like, thank you, but I want to see other people do it too who don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it makes you laugh a little bit and stuff like that. But it's always great to see friends and family support you. But I love that. So let's go on the flip side here. We talked a little about your favorite memories. What have been some obstacles that you've had to face when starting back basics?
I mean, COVID, right, is
Yeah,
probably one of the biggest ones that a lot of us went through. Fortunately, had a product that was able to be used at home and training at home, but it was also in the beginning stages of the business to where getting inventory or getting that sort of stuff was really difficult globally with supply chains and factories being shut down. So having a product that everyone really wanted to use and could have grown us to levels above where we're at now, but there's always a coulda, woulda, shoulda anytime in business. That those were just some of the most difficult moments of, hey, here's this awesome opportunity for us. People can, be using and training at home, but oh no, how are we going to get it to them? How are we going to get it made? And it wasn't just us. Obviously, a lot of other people around the globe were having some of those initial challenges and problems, but it's probably the constant wave of in stock, out of stock, in stock, out of stock, just trying to manage that inventory of you're not ordering too much, but you're not ordering too little. You get moments where like Cam wins the Open and we sell out globally. And
yeah,
then all of a sudden, you run into a problem to where it's another 2 to 3 months for another production run to be made, and those sort of things, which made it pretty difficult. And you got all these people that are pre-ordering or back orders, and you're just trying to make sure that they're all taken care of. And lots of people reaching out that had their friends had the product and then they wanted to get it. So that was a pretty difficult time as well too, to where, hey, this is exciting, this is something really cool that's happened, but then on the backside of that, oh no, we
yeah,
now have all these orders and the stuff that needs to get fulfilled in the time that it took to get that done, and then getting back in stock and then let everyone know that. So that's just probably the biggest thing with entrepreneurship is it's
yeah.
it's constantly a roller coaster of up and down moments, and you just got to be that person that just kind of rides the middle of not getting too high, not getting too low, and just staying consistent.
Absolutely. And it's great problems to have, right? Like, you extremely grateful to be able to say, hey, we ran out of stock because everyone wants our product this bad. But then at the same time, too, is learning, like you said, the inventory piece. I think this next time you should have to ask Cam to say, hey, when are you planning to win again? So we can make sure we're in stock.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
Just be a little
That would be
strategic,
great.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and yeah,
Last question.
a little more of
Exactly.
that.
Last question I've got for you is, let's say, someone ran into you and so they want to start their own golf brand. What's one piece of advice you would offer them?
I mean, research is one of the biggest things first, right? Is getting it in as many people's hands to test it, check it out, and see if that's actually going to be a viable product that people are going to use in the future. But the big one, and this is all entrepreneurship, not just golf or anything really comes to life, is just that consistency every day of just,
Mhm.
hey, here's a million things that you need to do, but just do 3 things every day. And that's something I do in my personal and my business life is just, hey, all this to do, but what are the things I can just do today? So
Yeah.
those are the ones that I constantly reflect upon and keep me going.
I love that. Your critical tasks. That's what I focus on. I have my 5 critical tasks every day. They change depending on, but it's things to help push me forward. You could have a million things on the plate, but as long as I get that 5, that's a dub. That's a win for the day for me. So
Yeah,
I
no,
love that.
definitely.
I love that. All right, where can everyone find you guys on social media?
Yeah, and social media, we're just back to the number 2, basics golf. And then online, it's back the number 2 basics.golf to find us online as well, too.
On the show, and I'm sure a lot of people episode with you, and very extremely grateful for anything that you ever need from us. I hope you'd reach out. And to everyone listening, make sure you guys check them out. Back to basics. fantastic company. Like I said, I use their putting mirror at least a couple times a week when I go to the range to practice my putting, and then the putting mat. It's a great thing to make practice more fun. And then all you guys listening out there too, please make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment, reviews, help us grow the share the podcast. We don't run any advertisements. All we're trying to do is make sure that we grow this podcast organically, and it's through you guys listening. So thank you guys for listening to the show. Thank you again, Nick, for being on, and we'll see you next week.